Hi, this is Dan Carmody, and I'm the Executive Director of Tresolution, and we're hosting the 2019 U.S. Fintech Symposium this September in Chicago. We're thrilled to have Dan Heyman on the line. Dan is the co-founder of PegaSys, which is a ConsenSys company. He is going to be speaking at this year's U.S. Fintech Symposium, and the topic of his presentation is the state of blockchain, separating hype from reality. Thank you, Dan, for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Sure, my pleasure. Can you tell us a little bit more about your presentation, please?
Absolutely. So unless you've been living under a rock over the last couple of years, you've probably heard the hype of blockchain, how it's coming to transform every single industry, and you better watch out or get on board. And a lot of people have looked at this with enthusiasm and an equal amount of skepticism. And understanding where we are today and why this enthusiasm and potential is there for the future is what I'll be speaking about. So the last year has seen blockchain really take root in certain financial services and fintech use cases. There's a number of exciting projects that are live, changing the way financial services and fintech companies operate. So I'm going to go through those in a bit of detail, explain how you and your company might be able to leverage those best practices, those ideas, and then we'll talk about the future, sort of what is the road to accomplish some or all of the hype around blockchain.
Yeah, in my 100,000-foot observation, it just seems like we're moving from a proof of concept phase into more of an implementation phase with certain blockchain technologies. So can't wait to learn more about that. Who do you think would be a good audience member? What industries, what titles, who do you think would be interested in something like this?
So I'm biased, but I think everybody should be interested in this. But it's probably not specific enough of an answer.
Me too.
The talk is designed for technologists and non-technologists alike, blockchain experts and non-blockchain experts. For me, it's really trying to talk to people who are decision makers at fintech, financial services, or broader corporations who are interested in understanding how blockchain might impact their industry and how they can incorporate blockchain into their current product stack to future-proof their roadmap and to really leverage the potential that it brings to the table.
So Dan, we're thrilled that you will be presenting at this year's U.S. Fintech Symposium, but we're equally thrilled that you will be an attendee also. Are there any presentations or other general topics that will be at this year's U.S. Fintech Symposium that you're interested in?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the whole lineup looked really exciting to me, but there were a couple of talks in particular that jumped out. So one thing I think about a lot in my role is what do we need to build ourselves? What should we be looking at to acquire in the market? And what can we partner to accomplish? The blockchain product surface is just really broad and really complex. And as a company, we have a finite amount of resources. So the talk on building, buying, and partnering in fintech, I think, is going to be really interesting and will help give us a lens on how we approach that problem. Similarly, AML is a really important topic in the blockchain space. A bunch of companies historically have gotten in trouble for poor or negligent AML practices, and the entire industry is upskilled over the last couple of years. But obviously, AML is an ongoing process, and I'm excited to learn more about the latest in that field.
Yeah, those are two great topics. I agree with you. So, well, Dan, thank you so much for taking the time to giving us an introduction into your presentation and your topic. Can't wait to learn more about it in Chicago, but thanks again for your time today.
Thank you, Dan.
Take care.